Hey everybody, my name is John Lynch and I am doing 365 days of alternate day fasting. And you won't believe it, we've reached month 6. This is day 192. So today's video is my month 6 results video. Now, in case you're new and you haven't seen me at all before, I'm doing what's called alternate day fasting. And what that means is that I have one day where I eat normally and then the next day I fast. I don't eat anything, though I do drink coffee with maybe a little cream in it or erythritol to sweeten it, and I will have water with electrolytes. I had planned to have this 6-month video out earlier, but I ended up needing to have dental surgery this week. I had 3 wisdom teeth removed, so making videos was pushed behind my lying in bed and healing. It is going pretty well so far. I think today is my first day off of the codeine, and so I'm slowly moving away from food that's only in the form of pudding. But forget about that. You're here because you want to see my month 6 results. Wow, can you believe that we've made it halfway through the year already? It's incredible. And I have good news to share. Month 6 has been my best month for fasting so far. It was by far my best fasting month overall. Now, I will admit that I lost more weight in the first month. That month I lost over 15 pounds. But month 6 was really near the top of my weight loss results for any of the rest of the months, and it felt really good. Month 6 felt really easy. My energy has been really good and I lost weight very steadily. This is kind of how I thought that it was going to be the whole time, starting from month 1 when I was fasting, but it just didn't work out that way. For a recap, in month 5, I stopped doing any little extra weight loss tricks on my eating days. I was doing little things like eating no carbs in the morning or trying to have smaller lunches, cutting my eating off for the day at 10 p.m., stuff like that. I had planned on adding extra fasting days to make up this difference from taking away all the little tricks, just to accelerate my weight loss really. And I did do this like 3 or 4 times earlier in the month, but by about halfway through the month, I had stopped adding any extra days. It just really didn't seem necessary. My main focus this month was just on having fun creating and eating tasty food, and trying to bulk up my meals with less calorie-dense food additions. I tried a bunch of things, like I bought a spiralizer, and that was something that I used to make like zucchini noodles a couple times in the first week or so. I also did a big push on chia seed pudding, chia seed pudding that my son really likes, and we had like a good week or 2 where we really had that a lot for dessert. Another thing that I tried that I really quite liked was these shirataki noodles. These are like noodles that they have no carbs, they're really low in calories, and I really enjoyed them. But the truth is I only made maybe four meals, maybe 5 meals with this during that month. Another thing that I did was just adding a lot of spices and herbs and stuff to like hamburgers and meatballs. So like making stuff with lots of onions and herbs and spices, and just having a ton of flavor in my food. And that also bulks it up, you know, and adds nutrients and makes it much more tasty. But these things I did, it didn't really feel like a lot of stuff. And so although I did these things, it didn't really feel like I made major changes to my diet. These were really small changes. I mean, in the type of eating that I do, I'm only eating every other day, and you only have 1 or 2 meals that you might cook in this way. So I didn't even have every meal that way where I would add something like this, but it still was really successful for me. Another thing that I've been working on this month is my portion sizes. Not that I'm leaving my meals hungry by any stretch of the imagination. There's no way, I'm really not. I still eat lots and lots of food, but what I find is that there have been a number of weird changes that I notice in my eating. I just get full faster. I would even say that sometimes this month I was really feeling stuffed and I wasn't eating a huge amount of food. I was eating what I would think of as a small or normal amount of food for me. I also found myself eating more food in the mornings, which is not something that I really do a lot. And I don't know what to make of it, but it's something that's been happening and that I've noticed, and so I just have to make a note of it really for you guys. It's really hard for me to believe that these small changes that I've done are having this much of an effect. I'm really not convinced that all these little changes are enough for me to be getting this result. But I can only tell you what I'm doing. So maybe these are enough to put me over the edge, or maybe it's simply a fact that my body is making adjustments and has finally got to a place where it's happy with. I really don't know, but I'm very, very happy to be in this place. So numbers-wise, this month I lost 8 pounds. It got lower than that, but I don't really feel the need to use the lowest number that I ever get to in the month. Though that is something that I've done in the past, so maybe this is another little mental change that's going on for me. So that means that in 6 months, I've gone from 282.6 pounds to 235 pounds for a total loss of 47.6 pounds, or 7.9 pounds per month, which I'm really happy with. Through doing this long 6 months of fasting, my idea of weight loss has changed, and my belief in the amount of weight that I used to lose on these quick diets, I don't have it anymore. I think a lot of that weight that I had these big results with was, a lot of it was water stuff that you kind of dump really quickly, and then if you start having food again, it pulls back in really quickly. So what I love about this slower method is that I really feel that if I'm losing 8 pounds, I'm losing 8 pounds of fat and not 8 pounds of water, which is definitely to be preferred. So let's go on to the measurements. In month 6, I've lost 3/4 of an inch off of my neck. I lost 1/2 inch off of each of my arms. I lost 1 1/4 inch off both my chest and my stomach. I lost 3/4 of an inch off my waist and 1/2 inch off my butt. Now, overall, for 6 months, that means that I have lost 3 1/4 inches off my neck, which is a huge amount. I've lost 2.5 to 3.5 inches off of each of my arms. I lost 4 3/4 inch off my chest. I've lost 8 inches off my stomach, which is, I'm very happy to see gone. I've lost 7 inches off of my waist, and I've lost 6.5 inches off of my butt. And I've lost about 2 to 3 inches off of each of my legs. So that's a real big change, and I'm really surprised to see it all added up. You know, you see it go a month at a time, a little bit here and there, but it 8 inches off of my stomach works out to be a huge amount. There's still more to go, and I'm going to be happy to see it go, but I love to take some joy in this success of what I've done so far. So I really want to reiterate just how happy I am with doing this alternate day fasting plan. I want to say again how this month, month 6, has been the best month, both for feeling good, for having energy, for getting things done, and for actually losing weight. It's such a thrill for me that things are getting better at this point, rather than just getting worse and worse until I really want to stop. It makes all the difference, and it makes me think that if I can lose another 40 pounds in the next 6 months, then I'm going to be basically at such a great place, at my lowest weight probably in my adult life. And it's only taken 6 months. Oh, and here's something else that happened this month. It's only taken 6 months, but 2 people have finally noticed that I lost some weight this month. My local barista and my dental surgeon. And it does feel pretty good, though it is a bit strange that it's taken quite this long. But then again, things are pretty strange these days, with everyone hardly ever leaving their houses. Another thing that happened that was kind of funny this month was a few days ago, I was chatting with my son before bedtime. We kind of hang out and talk before he goes to bed. And I'd mentioned something about having this fat face when I started this. And he kind of was surprised, and he said to me that to him, I looked pretty much the same as I did when I started this. He didn't notice any difference at all. And so I took this as a challenge, leapt up, went to my computer to show him the slide that I have, which I'll show you as well, that I made that shows the changes in my face and my body throughout this fast. And he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. So he just hangs out with me all the time. Everything looks the same to him. He doesn't notice any differences. But kind of seeing it hard on the screen like that was really surprising for him. And it was kind of funny because he was like, wow, I see you've lost a lot of weight. And he didn't want to insult me. He wanted to be kind about it. But he was really surprised at how heavy I was. As we're passing this milestone, I really want to thank all of you who have supported me through this year so far. I really appreciate it. I love to get your feedback and your advice and to hear how things are going for you in your own fasting and your own weight loss. And that's made it so much more enjoyable for me, and it's such a blessing, really. So really, thank you very, very much. And hey, once again, you've made it to the end of another video.